In an article by Joosten, one of the best practices of today can't really be called a best practice at all. It stems from the speed with which our best practices are changing today. It used to be that for the most part, best practices were studied and research was done to confirm the efficacy of any given tool, but now these tools are changing so quickly that those studies are not being performed, which means that best practices really can't be a good describer of what is happening in today's educational trends. In an article by Olasina, mentions that today's tools must be collaborative and in the end up being very student-centered. The entire focus of the lesson must be focused on the student rather than on the content. The content is important, but if the student isn't taken into consideration, then that content won't be learned. So whatever material is communicated, it must be done in an easy-to-use way. And finally, in an article by Bostancioglu, learning must be social, so it doesn't really matter a whole lot what you teach as long as it gets taught in community and in a social setting. This author took it so far as to say that the benefit of teaching online is not really important. There's not really any value in it unless it ends up with students studying together. In the end, these, at least the last two especially, point towards a constructivist viewpoint where the students themselves are constructing the learning, which puts really the learning in their hands. And I feel like these results of best practices is exactly where I thought it would be. The focus of today seems to put the student in the center of everything. As far as how this connects with my own beliefs or perspectives is maybe a little interesting, maybe just to me. I have always struggled with the pendulum swing that seems to that happens in every area of life, where we jump from one extreme to another. And I feel like it's unwise to jump at every single possible step forward, but I think it's just as unwise to reject all forms of moving forward or progress. Just because someone thinks something might work is not an acceptable reason to throw everything away that worked in the past. And just because something worked in the past doesn't mean that we shouldn't work towards improvement as we move forward.